Tyson Foods is closing or selling 3 of its beef plant and packaging operation sites across the U.S. This is affecting its beef facilities in Eagle Mountain, Utah, Pasco, Washington, and Jocelyn, Illinois.
I would say that their community is here to help them and that they are not alone. We, of course, as an agency are here to help them with their needs for employment or connecting them to any other resources, but the whole community is reaching out to help.
The move comes as the U.S. faces a multi-year beef supply squeeze driven by the cattle herd shrinking to a 75-year low. The inventory shortage is likely caused by persistent droughts, higher feed costs, and New World screwworm concerns. But this is not the first time we've told you about this issue. Back in February, we spoke to Texas Tech ag economist Darren Hudson, who told us these long-term driving forces led to some liquidation, with producers unable to afford to feed their herd.
You had domestic cattle down, and still down, and then you halt, imports coming in from the border, and it's just sort of a double whammy, if you will, on the total supply.
Farmers in the city's Tyson is shutting down production say they will have to shoulder higher shipping costs as they'll need to ship product further away. The hits to their wallets will come even sooner when distributors buy cattle in the first place.
It's definitely going to be a ripple effect, not only the farmers, but a lot of local trucking companies that haul for Tyson, or even businesses like, Cow Pie Truck Wash in Jocelyn. That business was built around washing trailers out for when they drop cattle off. So it's going to be a big hit to a lot of different companies and businesses.
The Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Service is predicting the state will produce less beef maybe into 2028 because of this West Texas drought. On Monday, the USDA designated 6 Texas counties as natural disaster areas. Castro and Palmer counties were included in this declaration. Affected local producers have until March 10th of next year to apply for emergency government loans. Contiguous counties are also eligible. That includes Bailey, Lamb, Hale, and Hall counties, as well as Curry County in New Mexico. Texas Ag Commissioner Sid Miller says Tyson's announcement should be a wake-up call for anyone who cares about the future of the American cattle industry. He's calling on the USDA to acknowledge the role the prolonged shutdown of cattle trade at our southern border has played in making a bad situation worse. Now, back in July, the USDA announced it is going to try a phased-in reopening of the border to the Mexican cattle feeder starting on August 24th in Douglas, Arizona. The border has been closed to Mexican cattle since November of 2024 because of concern about the screwworm. While all of that news does sound pretty troubling, Miller says there is some good news for the Lone Star State. Because of the closures, Miller says Tyson is doubling down on its Amarillo facility and plans to bring back a second shift online as cattle become available. Miller calls this a strong vote of confidence in Texas cattle, Texas producers, and the Panhandle's role as the beating heart of America's beef industry.